Well, that was interesting. Super rude of Deerling to do that to us. She's got a blue screen of death with a error message. I looked it up while I was trying to get things back up. TCP/IP system failure. So we will see if it was a one-off or maybe it gets worse. I don't know. I have been having computer issues lately. It's a very old computer. And unfortunately, my money is spent on school right now. So as soon as this thing dies, it's gonna be a hot minute before I can make content. Hot minute before I can make content. But we're back. Well, we're back. What were we talking about? We were talking about deers. As I was saying, it is just a deer. They don't do a lot with it, but I do enjoy the concept of the seasonal forms. I wish Pokemon had found a way to implement that more fully and in more interesting ways. Deerling itself, it's just a cute deer. Goes right in the middle with all these other... Like, yeah, it's a cute Pokemon, but that's kind of all it is. However, once you get to Sawsbuck, now we're talking. The fact that its antlers completely change based on the season to show kind of just the natural cycle of growth and death throughout the seasons. Feels like another beginning of preview. Yeah, kind of. I'd agree with that. But yeah, I think it's a fun idea. It does feel a little... It doesn't impress me with the concept. Like, it only changes the antlers in, like, a few spots on the deer's back. But it's neat. It's novel. I appreciate it for that. Fun experiment. I enjoyed it for that. Emolga. An electric flying squirrel. For being the kind of sort of, like, Pikachu-esque clone of this game, it's alright. I've never understood how gliding equals electricity. It is funny that it's a flying electric type and just invalidates half the counters you can throw at it. If you don't have any rock moves, you're in trouble. Yeah, legendary scatters from shocking friends and foes. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's fine as is. Another one of those Pokemon where it feels like there was an idea they could have explored further here. Like, maybe it glides on storm clouds and lightning bolts shoot out of the storm clouds or something like that. Or make it really super fast. That the kind of membrane extends into lightning bolts as it quickly zips from place to place. But I think it's pulled back because of the Pikachu aspect a little bit. Because it's clearly designed first and foremost to be like Pikachu, and not its own thing. Because I feel like you can do a lot more with Electric Flying Squirrel than it's doing right now. It's gotta have the cheeks. It's gotta be a rodent with the kind of lightning bolt tail. We can't not have that. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of there. It just kind of joins the list of... There's a lot of Pokemon like this in this generation. Of just, yeah, you're cute. Maybe a little bit lower. I like Herdier more than Trubbish. Just because there's more you could do with that idea. Carablast. What do you do? I don't even know. Well, we'll get to the evolution in a second, and that's worth talking about, but... Serious Pokemon evolve when they receive a shield transformation. They filter and they spit in a acidic liquid, drop them away. Might be yet another. Just like, oh, we need a pre-evolution for something. Which is so bizarre. Wait, hold on, what is Shell? Supposed to duel with Shelmet, I get that. Right, okay, now I'm remembering now. Sorry, that took me a second. Let's do all of these simultaneously, since they're so closely connected with each other. Evolves via trading with Shelmet as it steals Shelmet's armor and uses it as its own. Likewise, Shelmet, by losing his arm, becomes more agile, so it decides to be a ninja. Apparently, the real-life bug it's based on actually does eat snails. Okay. I needed to be sold on it for a second. Snail-eating beetle based on the Carabus. No more, which seems to be inspired by Rhinoceros beetle. Somewhat resembles an escargot fork. Well, it changes another species. In this case, the relationship between predator and prey. Okay. They must be traded with each other. That's interesting. I was about to complain, like, wouldn't it make more sense for Shelmet to evolve into a Scavalier? But that's literally the point. I didn't know they were cooking something here. Will say, Carablast as a baseline is just kind of weak. Like, for what's supposed to be a snail... Like, actually, let's see the snail-eating beetle before we complain too much about what it could be. Sure. Admittedly, not much to work off of there. But even still, that's not... I'm gonna toss this down into... I don't know. Actually, you know, I'd probably want to trade this thing if I saw this without knowing what it become later down the line. Which is a shame, because what it becomes is badass! Now for this one, this gets into a bit of a gray area for me. Because it looks sick. It looks absolutely sick. It's also so heavily the human side of culture coming in and having a Pokemon designed around that. Like, this is not the kind of thing I could see jousting being based off of. It's too on the nose. That said, still super duper cool. Oh yeah, exactly, Baki, exactly. It flies? Oh right, yeah. I remember seeing an episode of that. It just literally just jolts around. I think it's a bit of a shame, because I think the initial idea here is so solid. You just had to think a little bit more about how to make the rest of it happen. And, you know, a big part of the blame there might just be Carablast being a bit lame. And Shelmet not having much to it either. But if Carablast had, like, actual legs that can maybe, like, skitter around on, maybe pick up some stuff to use as lances. I'm trying to look at the other Pokemon that were introduced. See if there's anything that works as half decently as a lance. Like, maybe it uses Stantler antlers as a lance. I don't know. The fact that it's, like, specifically the striped kind of, like, tournament lance as well. I still think it's cool. I think it loses points for being a little too on the nose. But even so, still an A-tier design. Doesn't hurt it that much for me. And Shelmet. Again, kind of... not as bad, but also kind of designed with, like, the helmet clearly in mind. Proposal, the human culture coolness scale. For something to include X amount of human culture must be X amount of cool. Nah, because we'll get down the line where the amount that it's on the nose, it doesn't matter how cool it is. It can't make up for that for me. Shelmet's also kind of nothing. But I would at least be curious to see what it evolved into upon seeing it. So I think I'll put it around here. Maybe top of frustration. No, under the turtle. I'll move the turtle up. It's not a bad design. It just annoys me that fossils aren't... they don't do more with them. There. But then it evolves, becomes a ninja, which is hilarious. Looks like a fucking Splatoon character is what this looks like. I need to see this thing in motion. Because I've never used one of these before. Doesn't sell the ninja vibe that well, I agree, and even then, it's trying so hard to embody the ninja vibe that you can't really even tell what it used to be. Like, you have to actively look into the Pokédex entries to even understand that these Pokemon are connected. Like, it's weird. Kinda don't get it. I'm kind of with you there. He's also based on anime superhero tropes. I can see that. But it's just kind of bizarre. The shell out Pokemon. It's an interesting experiment. I'll give them that. But I don't think I'd keep it. Which is a shame, because I think there's an idea here. Actually, I think I like the helmeted design a little bit more. The ladder's just odd. I do enjoy the idea of, like, these two Pokemon kind of evolving because they clashed with each other. Yeah, I'm gonna put you next to Samurott. I think that fits. And the idea is neat, but it kind of feels like Escavalier came first, and they just had to figure out something to do with the snail that lost the armor, and they kind of just settled on Ninja eventually, because, oh, a snail moving fast like a ninja, that's funny. Oh, thank you. I moved the window after the blue screen. Let's move this over a little bit more. There we go. If Carablast had something ninja-y about it that directly benefited Shelmet, like maybe that's where the raps come from. I don't know. Maybe Carablast has wings, and instead of the wraps, you just kind of wrap the wings around its... I'm trying. The point of the matter is, it doesn't do that. Oh, we gotta go back to Escavalier. And we got Fungus. Another Mimic-like. Okay, so I need to... I've never played Gen 5 games before. Does this work like a Mimic in the game? Because I have no idea. As fake items. Okay, it does. It does. Alright, you get points for that. Mimic stuff is very, very fun. You're not the first one to have the idea, but you're still... And you actually cover yourself like different types of Pokeballs. I appreciate that. Someone sees a shiny, they're like, oh my god, there's a Master Ball on the ground. That's actually really, really funny. Pokemon with its pattern that looks just like a Pokeball then releases poison spores. Why it resembles a Pokeball is unknown. I wish there was a little more thought put into why it looks like a Pokeball. It just kinda does. And the Pokedex implies that Pokeballs design were based on... Oh, if that's the case, I don't like that. The developer wanted to really like Fungus, but this has not been confirmed. Yeah, that's significantly weaker if that's the case. Because the whole point of mimicking is because there's stuff around that you want to mimic since you can hide. If it was just based off of it, that just means it's a really weird pattern. But it is just a theory. Okay, theory. I think it's fine. One of the weaker grass types of this generation, but it's just fine. I like Snivy more than it. Kind of just one of those designs where it's overly centered on this singular idea and there's not much outside of it. And there's not as much of a fun personality as Voltorb and Electrode here. And we got Amoonguss, which was a great investment on the part of the Pokemon Company. But the Mimic just kind of gets weirder. Because now it's also got two shields. Does it, like, raise them in, like, a group? I don't know. Lures its prey close by dancing and waving its arm caps, which resemble Pokeballs in this swaying motion. Which is a shame, because, like, the idea of a dancing mushroom actually sounds really funny. we gotta have this Pokeball mimic thing, which doesn't seem to be doing that much with it. I don't know, I'm not feeling this one. How do you animate? Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan. It's also, there's just also a lot of nothing. I get that it's a mushroom, but it's got such a tiny face, and the rest of it is just blah. I feel like if I were doing a mushroom mimic in Pokemon, I'd make the cap like the tail, and make roots extend down it to wherever the actual Pokemon is. Something like that? I don't know. This doesn't do enough for me. I like the duck more than you. But there is a weird charm to it, I will admit. I'll put you right there. That's a good point, yeah. After Breloom and Parasect, like, you've got some stiff competition for a mushroom Pokemon, and you're not doing nearly enough. Okay. Frillish. We got a jellyfish, which is interesting. Kind of royalty themes, kind of going off of the same Goldeen-esque stuff. We got... It's annoying, because they got the gender differences that I enjoy from seeing how Pokemon evolve with that, but it's just, like, color-coded, which is kind of lame. It's a ghost type? Oh! I didn't know that. That's a bit cooler. This is another Pokemon I've never really had to think about before. I've never used one of these before. Ooh, that's a nice shiny. When it's a sprite, bit less... Actually, just the Pokemon in general. Oh my gosh. Look, that... Oof. Ugh. That's a rough transition. You lose a lot of detail and it becomes just... Oh, it just gets worse the more detail you get. This is not a Pokemon that reacts well to lighting. You gotta make this thing transparent, guys. Okay. Okay. Created water types that had the ghost type added to it during the balancing phase, and the original designer of it doesn't like it anymore because of that. So the only known Pokemon whose creator doesn't like it. Interesting. Disappointed they ended up being scary. Are these... Are they, though? Are they? I don't know about that. I guess if you saw them in the dark, just deep underwater, I can kind of see it. I think it's an interesting design. I've thought about it, I've come out positive. I think it is neat. I think if you're going to make a ghost-type jellyfish, I'd want a bit more. I can tell that it was stapled onto it later in the design process. I like Victini a little bit more than you. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's kind of another one of those ideas of like, okay, you got something going there, but like, if that's the idea you're going for, like, holy shit, you could have gone so much further with that. But that's fine. But then you get to Jellicent. And it's just kind of weird. Which is bizarre, because they describe them as so dangerous. Fate of the ships and crew that wander into this creature's habitat are all sunken, lost, and vanished. Their favorite food is life energy. Yeah, it's kind of the same issue, but a little worse, because at least with Frillish, you can kind of get the vibe that it's a little unsettling, because they're very, like, just kind of Slender Man-esque, just tall, pale, ghosty vibes. These look way too goofy. Pokedex World was an awesome area I really want to visit, but it's never been in a game. No, I get that. Looks like the Pringles. He does, doesn't he? Yeah, it's just a bit of a conflicted design, I think. Little crowns ornate? Yeah, a bit. Bit stapled onto the design. Really not fond of, like, the eyelashes and, like, the heavy lips. I think the male ones at least got a bit of the Uncanny Valley vibe with how the eyes look. Not even then. One that benefits from a dead blank stare. I can see that. I think Frillish works fine on design and Jellicent looks stupid. I'm tempted to agree. This one's not doing much for me. I'm probably being a little too harsh on Purloin. You can go up. Yeah. Is this supposed to be Tentacle 2.0? Oh god, if it is. That was a swing and a miss. We got Alo Molola. Alo Momola, sorry. Which is one of the most enjoyable names in all of Pokemon. But it is also, I can't remember what the kind of fish it's based off of is, but it's that fish. What is it? Sunfish, that's it, yes. Oh, it's just Fish Audino? Ah. Gently holds injured and weak Pokemon in its fins. Its special membranes heal their wounds. Nah. That's not fond of Pokemon like that. Generally. Unless they're specifically evolved to interact with humans as like a way of like getting them to take care of themselves. It's just not how evolution works. Nah. Plus, it just kind of looks off. Like this weird, like... I'm getting doctor's office old secretary vibes from this thing, which I guess is kind of the point from the expression. Fair bit. Also weird it doesn't evolve from Love Disc. Like, you look at the two of them next to each other and, like, wouldn't it, though? Yeah, and the fact that expression's on a fish. This is another wonder trait for me. Not fond. There. Yes. Alright, we have a few duds in the row, but we're getting back to good stuff. Back to good stuff. Because we've still got a few generations to go before Pokemon stops knocking out of the park with bug Pokemon. I think Joltik's excellent. Just this little zappy, jumping spider. I mean, just like, come on. Both of them. Both of them are absolutely fantastic. You made me care about a spider. You have any idea how hard that is for me? Also, just the simple idea of, like, electrified web. That's so cool. And just visually, they look pretty cool. Joltik is recycled Gen 3 design with the idea of being a counterpart to Wailord that was the smallest Pokemon. But I never found a way to communicate it being tiny with pixel graphics. That's funny. Someone just sends out a Pokeball in Emerald, and it's like 6 pixels wide. But yeah, best boys. Love both of them. No, I'm gonna keep them together. They're both great for pretty much the same reason. I think I actually like Joltik a little bit more, just because it's adorable. You look at that bug. That is one of the greatest, like, you see the bug and you just want to take care of the bug, to raise the bug. And then it evolves into a protector to protect you. Love it. Okay, Ferroseed. You are a seed with thorns. That's the beginning, middle, and end of you. Oh, you shoot the spikes out. That's at least a little interesting. Where are you based off of? Seeds that stick to clothing, such as cockleburrs. Might also be based on mace or flail. So it's kind of just there. Okay. You sure are a Pokemon. I can't even say frustration with you, because I just look at you and there's nothing there. You can join Carablast. I got pre-evolution. Yep, another pre... A lot of that in Gen 5. I think we're very rapidly finding. Ferrothorn, at least, has a bit more going for it. This bizarre, like, vine-walking tank of a creature. It's being a little tower defense enemy stuck on the ceiling. Points for being different, I think. Its design just doesn't speak to me, you know? Oh, that's better, though. Oh, you see it in motion. You can kind of feel a little bit more. Gosh, I look at this and I expect it to open up into something cooler. But it doesn't. It's just the sphere. Yeah, not really based off of anything, because it's a thing that shoots spikes from the ceiling. Gives off a oh, you know, it totally does! Plants vs. Zombies character. 100%. Any Pokemon are always really awkward, and it's not really the design's fault as much as the format. That's true. That's true. He's making spin like a Beyblade. This is another one I would be curious. 1 second. Ferrothorn redesign. Has anybody ever tackled this? Yo! Okay, no, yeah. Now that I'm seeing, like, comparison possibilities... Have it something built, growing out of a skull? That's sick. This just looks amazing. Sells me a little bit more on the design. It's a fine idea. Yeah, but the second I saw the skull, it's like, oh, just have something for this thing to grow in? That's a bit more interesting. I just don't like, I think, that it's just the seed. I wish there was a little more... Yeah, it almost feels like a mid-evolution. That you expect something cooler to follow later. But it just doesn't. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. That was a big Gen 1 thing. That said, it points for originality. I do genuinely believe that. I'm gonna put you... I think you do it better than Escavalier. Hang out with these guys. Yeah. It's about the same range. It's so big and threatening, it looks fully evolved to me. Yeah. I can see that. No. Maybe a Mega Evolution is what it needs. It's actually... Hold on. Mega... Ferrothorn. Ha! Okay, that's just Mega Metagross, but that is also... Like, that's pretty cool. I'd be down for something like that. Oh, but yeah, this one right here. Like this kind of thing. Like there's something else within. Just feels a little stronger to me. But doesn't need it as much as Audino. I mean, you got me there. You got me there. Most important Pokemon right there. Okay. We got a bit more... I'll just call it just straight up filler. Some of the most forgettable Pokemon from my perspective. They're based on gears. Now, everything I said about Magnemite, like, bring that back around, same issue here. The problem isn't that they're inanimate objects, it's that they're inanimate objects and they don't do anything interesting with that. It's... Yeah, I agree with you, Bucky. It's just nothing. I can't put them down in, like, the awful tier, but, like this... You know, I'm putting them right next to the ice cream machines. With the exception I'll give a little bit of credit to Clink Clang. There's something going on there with, like, the whole perpetual motion kind of deal. Kind of gets a little bit of that sort of drone-esque vibe I like from Magnemite. But even then... It's just a bit of machinery. It could have been a ghost possessing machinery. But no. He do be spinning, though. You're right. He do be spinning. Look at the Japanese names of this line? Sure. Wait a minute. Alright, we're gonna start from the first one. Ha! Giru! Gigiru! Gigiru! As a joke when it falls flat too? Yeah. Could be a psychic type if it was weird. Yeah, if they leaned a little bit more into the sort of, oh gosh, I don't know what not quite steampunk, but... Where's that D&D miniature? I know I have one. There's a dimension in Dungeons and Dragons that's all about, like, automatons. If you kind of leaned into that a little bit more, that could be cool. As though you're still the top of one trade. The gears got geared up. Oh, we got the electric eel next. Modrons, thank you. That's what they're called. It doesn't start the strongest with Dynamo. Super simplistic, does not give you a sense of what is in store for you. Oh, this is another Pokemon. Does this one light up on the sprite? Just out of curiosity. Won't make much of a difference if it does. Yeah, just kind of unassuming. You don't really expect much from it. I'm just gonna HM slit. Nah, actually, next to the dove. Yeah, the pigeon. But once it starts evolving, man... Oh, this thing's crazy. I admittedly forgot about Electric's face. I was skipping ahead in my mind to the final evolution. How do you move? Oh, that's even worse. This is one of the most middle evolutions. Oh, it does light up, though. That's cool. It's a middle evolution in a weird, like, almost tortured way. Like, it's trying to evolve into something bigger, but it's not quite there yet. So you kind of get the... Have you ever seen pictures of, like, how people envision, like, fish initially coming onto land? And it's kind of they're struggling around. That's the vibe I get from this. Plus electromagnetism because it has levitate, so the only Pokemon that has no weakness. Oh, that's cool. I think I'd give you... Gosh, I don't know how to rank you. Because you look absolutely horrifying, but I kind of love that that's the design they're going for. So I put you about... Shipment just Dynamos to Electros. I don't agree with that, actually. I think there's value here in this weird, horrifying middle state. I just don't know how I feel about it. At the top of HM Slaves, I get the vibe that there's something there when I look at it, but it feels unfinished. And I think that's deliberate, and I think it's stronger for it. But it's a setup for what comes later, because Electros is so cool. This thing is horrifying in the best way. I want to see this thing's Gen 5 spray. Oh gosh, I kind of wish... Wait, what? What? That's how it moves? Oh, that is so unsettling. I kind of love it, though. Because it's just kind of hopping around right now, right? But I'm picturing... So picture a kind of like an Alien setup, like the movie Alien with this thing. You just see this thing down a hallway, and it just reaches its arms out and just starts crawling after you. The setup it's got right now, that's actually kind of horrifying, and I love that. And then in the later generations, it just swims. Even though it's not a swimmer. Such a bizarre creature. But yeah, I'm a fan. This thing's sick. Up to the top with you, my friend. About there? About there, yeah. I wish there were more Pokemon like that. Just the deliberately... deliberately unsettling Pokemon. Just to mix things up. This thing had sauce? Agreed. Agreed. Okay. Elgyem! Pretty decent Psychic Pokemon. We've had a couple of passes at sort of Alien-esque Psychic Pokemon. I think by really heavily leaning into like kind of actual extraterrestrial designs, I think this one sets itself up pretty nicely. He's telling me based on that. Oh, interesting. Hold on, hold on. Are these like actual aliens? We're gonna link to a UFO crash site in the. Oh, it's Roswell. Oh, that's yes, 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 yes. If this Pokemon stands nearest TV strange scene will appear on screen. The scene is said to be from its home. Yo, these are some great Pokédex entries too. Being based off of Greys, too. So how does Beheum evolve with that? I'm just curious. Manipulate memory. Psychotic control upon its brain. Tamper with its memories. Flash is with. Oh, it's got some, like, close encounters with the third kind as well. Oh, this is so good. I've never used this before. I should. I'm a sci-fi nut. Fun fact for you guys. One of the reasons I went back to school is because I want to study, like, astrophysics, exoplanets, pie in the sky dream, get into the NASA program that actually works on trying to find extraterrestrial life. So this is heavily leaning on what I love. Oh yeah, it's got the War of the Worlds hands too! Oh, that's so... This is great. This is absolutely great. Yeah, you're going all the way up. Fantastic generation for psychic Pokemon. Look at that. I mean, we also got these down there, but when they're good, they're hitting strong. Oh, we get to keep going. We got some momentum with this one. Because now we get to the Lilac line. I am so much more forgiving of object Pokemon if they're ghosts. If it's a ghost possessing something, that's so much better than just the inanimate object having a face. Let me see your Pokedex. Litwick shines a light that absorbs the life energy of people and Pokemon, which becomes the fuel that it burns. While shining the light, pretending to be a guide that leeches off the life force of any who follow it. So we got Will-O-Wisp myths mixed into it all. The fact that candles are always lit when people die gives it a reason to exist, which is fantastic. The Pokemon takes lost children by the hand to guide them through the spirit world. It's just good. Because when you have ghost Pokemon, ghosts that we assume either come from Pokemon or humans, it makes sense for the ghosts to base themselves off of objects that humans would be familiar with. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna follow the light of the candle. That's something familiar. That's safe. That's human. What could be wrong there? I've also always had a very soft spot for the shiny. It doesn't change much, but I really like this coloration on the flames. Oh yeah, this entire line's going up in S tier. The Egypt mythology beats you just a little bit, but you're still amazing. Lampent. This ominous Pokemon is feared. Through cities it wanders, searching for the spirits of the fallen. Steals spirits from the body at the moment of death. The spirits it absorbs fuel its baleful flame. It hangs around hospitals waiting for people to pass on. Sorry, I just love these sprites. Just building the entire concept of lighting a visual for somebody and getting a whole Pokemon line out of that, it's so good. Also just based off of various kind of... I can't quite tell if this is more of a mimic sort of Pokemon, or if it's just based around... Yeah, it's a mimic. Okay, there you go. Just hang from a street lamp, and you see someone coughing walking by, the lamp just kind of unfurls and floats along behind them. It's so good. Also, S tier. Maybe about here-ish. And then, of course, Chandelier Lord also just looks awesome. Yeah, the Urban Will-O-Wisp. It's such a fantastic design. Being consumed in Chandelier's flame burns the spirits, leaving the body behind. God, that's so metal. I love it. Spirits burned by its ominous flame lose their way and wander the world forever. If homes illuminated by chandelier instead of lights, funerals were a constant occurrence, or so it said. I love this Pokemon so much. This is the proper way to do, like, inanimate object Pokemon. 6 shiny as well. Also, as an added bonus, great in Pokken. Super fun design in Pokken. But yeah, this is going way up here. You don't quite beat Grays for me. Still amazing. Easy S tier Pokemon. Put you between the Grays. Yeah. Alright. Getting to the dragons. Axew's fine. I've never liked its mouth. For it or Fracture. It's just a weird way for tusks to grow. Oh, it's based off of... Okay, I see it. I see it. Dad was like, did you know we designed Haxorus first and then went backwards? No! I never would have guessed. It's still cute. It's got a good expression. Makes it very easy to emote. And you see it's a dragon. You're like, oh, I can't wait to see what this evolves into. I do think the tusks are a little weaker, though. I'm gonna put it, like, maybe down here in B tier. Something like that. Fracture, I think, looks a little worse, honestly. It looks like it tried to eat, like, a model plane, and it swallowed the rest of it, but the wings have gotten permanently stuck in its jaws. Just looks so bizarre. Oh gosh, the sprite with the open mouth is not doing it any favors either. It does kind of look like it's playing airplane with both its hands and its mouth. That's kind of funny. Has a cool dex entry. Check that out real quick. Ah, come on. Uh-oh. Don't crash again, please. Come back. Come back. Okay. Don't grab the sides of the window. I am learning. Not grow back. They additionally sharpen their tusks and river rust. They've been fighting. The tusks can shatter rocks. This will not grow back. This is hard as a suit of armor. His tackles must stab with its tusks at the same time. You literally can't stab with your tusks at the same time, though. You can stab with a tusk, but you have to really awkwardly, like, move your whole face like this. Yeah, I think it's a little weaker. Put it down here. About yay-ish. But it's only that way because apparently it was reverse engineered. And what it evolves into is one of the sickest dragons in the entire franchise. Without question. Tusks finally solidify into something that actually looks like a proper crest. They can cut through steel beams. They're incredibly destructive. Big dragon does big things. I do like that it's kind-hearted, though. That's adorable. That's straight up a Monster Hunter monster right there. And I love it for that. Also, one of the sickest shinies as well. Like, look at that thing. Look at it. It's so cool. Don't say this much, but this thing looks a bit too cool to be a Pokemon. Honestly, yeah, I can see that. Like, you could tell me this was a Yu-Gi-Oh monster, and I'd totally believe you. But yeah, this obviously. Going right up there with the other cool stuff. There. Yeah, I think I actually like Gigalith a little bit more. But yeah, easy S tier. Easy S tier. And then we move on to the bear with the ice droplet knows why. Just why? I just want people to be thinking while we're looking at these creatures that rivals of Aether made Aeolus. Just keep that in mind of like what the potential can look like for badass polar bears. It's not food, its mucus gets watering, the power of its ice-type moves decreases. Its nose is always running. Why? Their nose is their snot is a barometer of health. When healthy, their snot is sticky, and the power of their... Go away. I'm sorry, but that's... I hate that as a design element. That's... No. No. Right! You could have done something with this! It's always leaking stuff, making an ice poison type. I will happily launch it all the way down to Godaway Safe. Well, it's... No, I'm keeping it at the top of there. I hate looking at this thing. And then Beartic, just what? Huh? Who's that Pokemon? They thought it was a Snorunt. They, you know what? It actually kind of does look like... You know when, like, the whole Jigglypuff scene from above, they're trying to draw a Pokemon in the silhouette of another Pokemon? This looks like they were just trying really hard to get a Snorunt or into that same... And they just eventually decided to make it into a bear. The beard looks awful. Why is the crotch so fluffy? It's just a triangle. You could have had Aeolus. You could have something cool. Whoops. Like polar bear covered in ice. That should have been a slam dunk. Oh god, look at... Googled what other reasons could look at. Look at this one. Something like that! Come on! Come on! You could have been cool. You're in North America. You could have designed it around, like, northern native tribes and how they've interacted with polar bears and those myths. But no. We had to be lame. Why does it keep doing that? You also go and got away safely. I hate looking at you. Yes. Alright. And then one more generic ice thing for the road. A literal snowflake. Which, you know, at least it's a bit abstract. Oh, that's fun. When its body temperature goes up, it turns into steam and vanishes. When its temperature lowers, it returns to ice. Yeah, I'm down for this one. Funnily enough, I'm so disconnected from Gen 5 that when I fought against the Krygonal boss fight in Terraria, I think it's part of a Calamity. I thought it was just an original creation, which was hilarious. Oh, that's shiny, though! Oh, that's good! Oh, and when you see it in motion like that, oh, you get this kind of sense that it's more just an elemental, well, kind of entrapped in the ice. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, once you properly see the face. Yeah, I'm down for this. I'm down for this. You know, weirdly, I think I love this for a lot of the same reasons I love the Solosis line. Just taking an element back to, like, its very core, and then breathing life into it in a weird way. Yeah, I actually really like the snowflake. I think that's really cool. Alright. Was not expecting that. Oh, we got Shellman and so we'll skip past these real quick. Stunfisk. Right. You sure do exist. His skin is very hard, so is unhurt even if stepped on by sumo wrestlers. That's so specific. It smiles when transmitting electricity. We got the Dunsparce of this generation. Let me see. How's your sprite animated? It's so stupid. Just kind of snickers. God, it's so stupid. But you know, I do kind of like it. Kind of a joke Pokemon, but it's working for me. I know it's based off of Flatfish. Obviously. Just this weird pressure pad with a face. Also the fact that it flies. Huh. I think with a lot of the other jokes, it's gonna land somewhere in Everstone for me. Some of the other ones. One second. About here, maybe? It's a you're in or you're out kind of joke, come on. Yeah, I get it. I think it's fun. I'd rather have it than not. Yeah, about there feels good. Alright, here's another Pokemon I know jack shit about. What the hell is a Mindfu? It's a fighting type, which is not a strong start. But at least it's not unsettling. Fights, sharp claws, cut their enemies, master elegant combos. Alright, speed. Oh, would you look at that? A fighting type Pokemon that makes no effort to implement itself in the world around it. Kangaroo, weasel, punchy fellas. God, I hate fighting type Pokemon. I'm sorry. Do respect that they at least acknowledge that they're all humanoid and that was weird. So they tried. Looks like a thing cut for Panda. Little bit, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, you're not particularly offensive. Like, you do nothing with the world around you. But at least you're, like, creatures. They're, like, right here. Alright, how does the evolution fare? Might and Chow. It's sure gonna fight you. Fighting type's gonna fight you. Gotta be careful. I understand what it's doing with the sleeves. Yeah, the whole whip fighting thing. But I think I like the pre-evolution a little bit more. So I'm not fond of how this animates. And I imagine I would be very not fond of how the arms animated if this was in motion. Yeah, no, I'd want to trade this. That's... goes too far. Matter of fact, I don't really like you either. You can hang out with Duck. But the Duck is better. Yes. Okay, moving on. Oh, right, Dredagon. The bizarre single evolution dragon. That's just kind of around. How do I feel? This is another one I've never really had to think about before. What's your Pokedex? Forms the body with some on its wings. Remember Tensor Falls. Can no longer move. Runs through the tunnels formed by Onyx and Excadrill. It's harder than the rocks. Fares against enemies and faces charges them face first. It's kind of more of a bulldozer dragon. I'm not a fan of the wings. if we're going to go for, like, the sunbathing thing, I wish it had... oh, gosh, I can't remember what the... Hold on, I need to remember... 4-year-old dinosaur... That's what it's called. Dimetrodon. Give it a sail. Like so. I think that would look way better. Not a big one. But something that makes a little more sense and doesn't look just as useless as the wings do. Or just no wings at all. I think I'd actually like it a little bit more if I just didn't have them. It exists. It's a dragon. It functions. Somewhere like... I like you more than Axu. Wow, do I though? Do I like you more than Trash? You know, the worst thing about Dredagon is it has to exist in the same game as Haxorus. Which is unfortunately just not a competition it can stomach. I think somewhere around here is fine. Like, it's positive. It's alright. Just doesn't really wow me. It's there. Oh, this line! I love this line! Alright, so this line is based off of a specific statue, I believe. It might not be mentioned until Golurk. No, it's not mentioned until Golurk, but... like... there's this whole specific broken statue that the design is built around. Golem of Prague, that's it. That's it. And it's just so... the history... the pull from history is already neat. But having such a strong, like, detail-focused showcase... I love the symbol in the chest. I think that actually works here. Because, again... it's so much better if you're having that kind of inanimate object coming to life thing when there's a ghost possessing it. Energy inside this movement that defines its energy, created by the science of an ancient and mysterious civilization. Ooh, fun! It's been active for thousands of years. Sculpted in ancient times. Oh, that's fun. Just the remnants of a bygone civilization. I didn't even know that. I've learned a thing today. Flies across the sky. I've never seen this before. It flies? That's so cool, though! Also transforms into a cannon, apparently. Well, I want to see sprite movement. Just big old beefy golem. Cool shiny, too. No, yeah. Massive fan. These are easy S tiers. High S tiers for me. I love this line. Yeah. This is important. In order to protect people in Pokemon with ancient people who made them. They're trying to go out of control. Serve as laborers, follow its master orders faithfully. Just discriminately turn the whole town around it into mountain rubble. So it's also got like untapped power as well. No, yeah, Golurk's amazing. I think I like Confagrius just a little bit more, though. Just a bit. But one of the best Pokemon of this generation, hands down. Gosh, there are a lot of Pokemon in Gen 5. Alright, Pawniard! It's made of blades. I appreciate that despite being fully made of metal, they still give a sense that, hey, this is a predator. It's going after prey. You miss that a lot as the generations go on. But, like, yeah, this is still a creature. Bit of an odd one, but still a creature. I also think this does the whole kind of samurai vibe better than Samurai. It's cool. It and Bishop, I like both of them. It's interesting. Just this bizarre group of samurai pack hunters. That's cool. I like that. Really based on chess theme. Oh my gosh, they absolutely are. I'm so still. It's a Pawniard because it's a pawn. It's a Bisharp because it's a bishop. I have never seen that before. But it's so obvious now that you've pointed it out. That's fun. I like these two. Yeah, I think those are both extremely solid steel types. Something like that. Yeah, they're great. Oh, pfft. Bouffalant. It's a buffalo with an afro. I'm pretty sure that's literally it. So yeah, they just... They have an afro. They're buffaloes, so they run into things. And they have an afro, because they run into things. Why? Well, I'm not exactly complaining, but just why? Where did I put you? Like, I think it's funny. Definitely positive on it overall. I like you more than Excadrill. And I think that's the end of it. But yeah, fun design. Enjoy immensely. Oh, okay. So we still got a bit of Native American culture in here. Remember someone said that for Bravery. I couldn't remember with Bravery, but that's literally a feather. I like this bird. I think it's got, like, the perfect expression for what a bird should have in Pokemon. Like, on the wide scale of all the birds we've seen, you either get ones that are just dead inside, that can't, like, emote properly, or ones that emote way too hard and only have one personality because of that. Revlet strikes a very nice balance. Good bird. Very good bird. Do I like it more than Unfit? I do think I actually do. Yeah. Put it right there. Why does it evolve so late? Because... America, that's why! I do... enjoy... My biggest problem with Braviary is that it's not bigger. I feel like if it evolved into a bird that had like a 12-foot wingspan or something like that, that would have been perfect. But even still, it's pretty great. They fight for their friends without any thought about danger to themselves. One can carry a car while flying. The more scars they have, the more respect these brave soldiers of the sky get from their peers. For the sake of its friends, this brave warrior of the sky will not stop battling even if injured. I love seeing American stereotypes designed by Japanese creators. You get the stuff like All Might, like the entire game, Metal Wolf Chaos. It's just fun. Musclep's got some weight behind it. I like it. I like the crest kind of looks like a Native American headdress. It's got a nice color balance. It's a cool bird. It's a great bird. Not fond of the Hisuian version as much. But yeah, it's a great eagle. Wait. Of course, you have to be a manly man to be a Braviary. No girls allowed. Is that the same with Rufflets? How... But... How... The American reproduces. By fighting so hard, they split in two and become two separate soldiers fighting at once. I love Braviary. Braviary is great. You can go up in S tier. About here? About here. Yeah. Just a solid design. Both in how it has fun with stereotypes and also has some, like, genuinely really cool shoutouts to various other cultures. Can't really say the same thing about Volibee. Never been fond of this one. We got kind of a Togepi Cubone thing going on. And it's... Why is the heart there? I think that's what really breaks it for me. Just why? That's... On one hand, the more meta sense of just... You're telling me that every single egg breaks in the exact same way. And the other, just why Vulture Diaper Bone heart. It's so weird. This thing actually eats Cubones? Oh! It's literally the diaper Pokemon. Varchai! Too down allowed to fly. As time approaches for the log discards the bones it was wearing, tends to guard their posteriors with suitable bones they have found. They pursue weak Pokemon. No. I'm not feeling the posterior protection vibe. That's just weird. No, thank you. I don't think I would even check to see what you evolved into. I would just Wonder Trade you away. Do I hate you that much? I like this bat more than I do. Yeah? No. But Mandibu's course corrects. I think the bone through the ponytail and the bone skirt are a little on the nose, but it's significantly better. Your name is Volgina. God, if I was a girl and a Pokemon fan when Gen 5 came out, I would have been so pissed. Just all the boys in the playground get Braviary. What do you get? Volgina. I know, I agree. It's a pretty cool vulture design. I don't hate it. Makes a nest out of bones. It finds the grunts we can pay the towns and hauls it to its nest of bones. Lots of bones. Anytime you get stuff like, hey, they decorate themselves with this various type of thing, I wish they designed a few variants for the Pokemon, just to show that they're not all completely identical. It always bugs me when you're like, oh yeah, they adorn themselves with skulls or shells or whatnot, but it's all the exact same thing. I should have braved it. It was called Paltier or something like that. I mean, yeah, that's equality. That's a very fair point, Jumping Fool. The girls also do get Gothitelle. So, it really balances out, you know? There's your sprite. Nothing special. It's much better. I definitely put it to the positives. Maybe about here-ish? Yeah, about here. I'm just picturing, like, if we're gonna go with super stereotypical, like, America vulture, I'd want something that better mirrors that. Oh yeah, this thing. Heatmore sure is a Pokemon that exists. Why do you have pipes? What? Okay. Sandwich burns with an internal fire Durant as it spray, using very hot, flame-covered tongues. They burn through Durant's steel bodies and consume their insides. Okay. So it is a molten anteater that plays on steel ants. I'll say, for, like, theming purposes, that's fantastic. I love that. Pretty great shiny. God, how mechanical it looks. I'm not a big fan of, though. I'm getting kind of the same vibes I get from, like, the Magmortar line. I like the initial concept, but there's stuff attached to it that I'm not as fond of. The weird flame gauntlets. I don't like how much the tail just looks like an old-timey smoking pipe. It looks just a little bit too manufactured. Although, to be fair, it literally eats steel. So I guess I can kind of see... You know what, yeah, I think I'll be a little more lenient on that particular element, because it is literally consuming steel. So of course it's going to be shown in some way. I think it's not like how haphazardly it's attached. They just kind of got one torso, another one in the back, another one in the back, but they kind of just seem awkwardly thrown together. But I do think that design element with Durant is extremely solid. I do think it's messy, though. I think that's the Excadrill. Kind of the same deal. Yeah. Why is Ember so high? Ember's cool. Why do I like all the mons that nobody cares for? Because I do not base my opinions on other people. I know what I like. Durant. Now, is there anything else? We'll say, pretty cool. Just as a baseline, pretty cool. Heat from natural battle with their colony. Groups covering themselves in steel armor to prevent themselves. Oh yeah, it's just cool. Love the shiny too. Say maybe. No, honestly, this goes all the way up there. Great steel type, love the interaction it has with Heatran. I put Heatran up here as well. I just think the visual design's a bit messy. Something like that? Something like that. Yeah. Oh, we'll get the Hydra next. Okay, so... Get this out of the way. I really don't like the emo hairstyle that Dino, like the entire evolutionary line, has got going for it. I've never been a fan. Is there anything? Cannot see. Oh, do they literally not have eyes? That would explain it a little bit better. The hair's still stupid, though. I understand. Eyes covered in wounds, lacking sight. It's unaware of its sounded, so it bumps into things and eats anything that moves. You'll be covered in wounds until a dino warms up to you. That's honestly fun. This hasn't been present in a lot of the pseudo-legendaries. I like that this thing is inherently difficult to train. It makes it earn that kind of pseudo-legendary aspect of it. Because it literally can't see you. It's gonna bite you to figure out what the heck you are. But still don't like the hair. I think there's cooler ways of selling that something's blind. Like, you can't come at me with something like this when I've played Monster Hunter and seen, like, Gore Magala and the Giganox. Like, replace where the eyes would be with just horns going back or something like that. Instantly becomes cooler for me. As such, though, still think it's alright. But I would put it at the lower end. Actually, I should ask, do I like this more than Axew? No, I don't. Do I like it more than Druddigan? No, I don't. I like it more than the garbage, though. That's a little nice trio of dragons right here. Evolves. Like the Eins Zwei Drei joke. I'm not... Is that just counting in a different language? Probably is. Counting in German. Okay, cool. I like that. I think this is better. Still hate the hair, but you're immediately sold of, oh wait, this is a Hydra. Which just instantly sparks the desire to get this thing to evolve again, because you immediately know what's going to happen. I think it looks cooler. It's just... It's good. It's good. It's good. Hair still annoys me, but it's good. I like Hydras. It's better because both heads hate each other? Oh, really? Hang on, hang on. It's each other for food. They always eat too much. The head eats more than the other head gets to be the leader. That's fun. Oh, that moves us up a couple places. That gets some, like, rivalry vibes. Always fun with these multi-headed Pokemon, because we've had a few of them, when there's personality distinctions between the heads. Because that's something you can imprint so many different kind of stories and personalities onto. And then... the third head grows, gets a haircut, which immediately jumps it into S tier. And it just looks cool. Heads in their arms do not have brains. They use all three heads to consume and destroy everything in their path. Oh shit, so it's all not even just like a competition to be the leader. It's a competition to keep your brain. That's great. Destroy by high. It bites anything that moves. I will say it says English. It's always annoyed me a little bit that the other heads look less like heads and more kind of just like sock puppets that the main head is controlling. Which makes sense as it is like the primary head. I just wish it looked less like just a human sticking its arms out of the body. Even though that's a small thing, though. I still think the end result is still pretty cool. Not as high as a lot of the other ones. But still pretty cool. Something about that? Yeah. Looking like puppets works because they basically are puppets. I can see that. Might just be how they're moved, like, naturally, like sock puppets. If it was a bit more jerking around, or something like that, kind of treat them as eye stalks, perhaps, for creatures that have had those animated. I don't know. I'd have to think more about this one. Or maybe just, like, rotate them a little higher or lower on the body. Or maybe make them stick directly out of the same stump of the neck. That's it. I just don't like how the necks are designed more like shoulders. I'm fine with them acting more like puppets. It's a small thing, though. Doesn't damage it too much. Okay. Larvesta. Firebug is quite cool. I think the initial start is it's all right. It's odd in a good way. The kind of red spines seem a bit haphazard, but I get it's trying to go for like it's a sun. Show me a sprite. Have I done the other gens? I have done 1 through 4 so far. It was a while ago, but we are catching up to do 5. It's weird. Kind of this middle ground to both the initial bug and the cocoon simultaneously. It's odd. I like it. Gonna slap you up. Bite you like as much as those. Right here. That feels good. Hold on, let me try something. Does this feel better? A little bit. Yeah, it feels a little bit better. But then you get to the freaking volcano moth, and we finally get a badass. Well, no, that's not true. Dustox is also pretty good. But Volcarona is an amazing design. Like, what can you say when you look at that thing? It's so different than anything else, but you can... Even though it's not on fire, you can clearly tell, oh shit, that's a fire Pokemon. Better be careful. I love the weird, kind of like horn... Almost a Haxorus head that it's got going on. Actually, is there any relation between these two? Let it look straight up. No, I'm not saying anything. Still cool. Still very cool. How's your sprite look? Oh yeah, look at that thing. It's so, because it's very bulbous. It's not sleek like so many other Pokemon designs are, but it works for this thing. Looks like it's kind of just resting on its own throne on the sun, and it's just gonna ignite you. It's so good. Easy S tier. Such an easy S tier. About there. Yeah. Morpho Night before Morpho Night. True. Very true. Oh boy. Now it's time for a bunch of legendaries. Okay. Alright, starting with Cobalion. What's the whole deal with these four? Three Musketeers. Right. Continuing the march down the quality of legendaries as they've run out of kind of like the more generalized topics to embody, like Groudon is the earth, and Kyogre is the ocean, and Rayquaza is the sky. I don't really enjoy the whole Swords of Justice group. Just, that doesn't do much for me. I get what it's going for. Right, we're following up time, space, and literally God and Satan. And jump into the Three Musketeers. We'll say as a design, it's inoffensive. Like, it's this nice old deer, ungulate, just shaped thing. It's fine. Although now I'm looking at it, I don't like how its hooves look like boots. That's a bit weird. Three Musketeers is a good idea for Pokemon design basis, but there's nothing in the design that communicates that at all. Yeah, I'd agree. Why is that 3 eyes? You can barely see the fourth one behind it. Here, let me go to the sprite. I know, I look at this thing knowing what the other legendary Pokemon have looked like, and I don't get the vibe of a legendary. Except for maybe the tuft of fur out of the shoulders. That's over-designed enough to be like, oh yeah, you're trying to be Entei. It's not working, but you're trying. It's a body and heart of steel. Its glare is sufficient to make even an unruly Pokemon obey it. Battled against humans to protect Pokemon. Yeah. Not a fan. I like Samurott more than you. I like Druddigon more than you. I like Zoroark more than you. It's the fact that it's a legendary that just knocks it down a peg for me. I will let you be better than the duck. No, I won't. Actually, that's funnier that way. Terrakion. Not a great picture. Nope. Already not a fan. At least it's got actual hooves. That's something. It's Pokemon lost their homes in the war against the humans. Yeah, it hasn't got anything to embody it, so it's just a character, but also not really. Barely, kind of. Bulbapedia is struggling. Come on, let me scroll. Let me scroll. I apologize if something crashes soon, because my mouse is acting weird. We good? We good? Look up Iron Boulder. Okay, sure. I don't think I'm alone in this, but the Paradox, like, prehistoric versions of things are so much better than the prehistoric, like, future ones. You have so much interesting design space with the Paradox past, and then the future is just like, what if it was Pokemon, but as a mech? Which is neat. But they're all kind of doing the same thing, which I'm not as fond of. Can you please scroll properly? Hold on a second. I'm going to open Bulbapedia in a new window. Might just be a matter of RAM. Ha! That's a good point. The future is boring and streamlined and small. I'll give you that. Up, that's it. Come on, come on. There we go. Working much better. Download more RAM? I've got like 64. It should be working better. It is, but it's also 10 years old. It's probably the processor or something going down. Yeah, oh my gosh, that's a terrible picture. A lot of the same thoughts on Terrakion, just worse. I'm gonna put you under Patrat because I think that's really funny. What bad opinions do I have today? Good question. Look over this. What are the bad opinions? In the meantime, what's the one that comes after it? It's the green one. Virizion. What is with the single jutting red? That looks so bad. Also, again, why are the hooves boots? They're the boots because it's the Three Musketeers, but... God, I hate how it looks. Is passed down, head spread, stars blaze, he's more than moves, and pounds and swiftly cuts opponents. Yeah, the Pokédex entries are so lame for these ones. Because they're all designed around having this super specific story that honestly isn't that interesting. I hate those singular leaves. Those are driving me nuts. I'm just gonna toss you in. Of the three, I think I like Cobalion the most. I think I like Terrakion a little bit more than Virizion. About there. About there. Why would someone like Cryogonal? I like the face. When you see its face in motion as it's moving around, especially the shiny variant. I like the kind of... I put it next to Solosis because I kind of like the sort of similar boiling down a specific Pokemon type into the... just an absolute singularity of what it is and making that a Pokemon. I think it's neat. Cubchoo sucks. No, I'm not with you on that one. I'm sorry. Just stupid snot bear that evolves into one of the ugliest polar bears I've ever seen. I played Rivals of Aether. I know what a Talus looks like. It could have been so much cooler. Are we on to the genies? We are indeed. Okay, Tornadus, Slanderous. I cannot stand you. You are way too human. Way too human. Can I get a sprite of the bird? I've never actually seen that bird. Like, I don't think ever. I know they had other forms, but I've only ever seen Landoruses. Yeah, the bird isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. The cloud vibes do give it kind of a legendary vibe, which has been lacking in the previous ones. I might actually rate these separately. I have been doing that for the other ones. But I think this is decent for a flying legendary. Pop it like, I don't know. Here. Not fond of the color combination either. It's just a very garish green and purple together. But it's a legendary, it's supposed to be weird. I think, though... Yeah, I'm just... No. Thank you. Not interested. Locoman says humanoid mythical figure is too human. I don't like putting humanoid looking things in Pokeballs. It's weird. You want to have a genie? Combine it with something else. You literally did. But you couldn't resist just this bizarre... Like, what even is, like, the... Is it a tail? Is it a ponytail? Like... God, I've never had to look at these before, because I hate looking at them. I think it's a tail. Yes. Because it's there on that, too. Oh, now I'm looking at the 3D model from behind on the bird. Nope. Not feeling that either. Nope. Just saying I don't hate these things because they're human, I hate them because they're ugly and confusing. Yeah, they're ugly and confusing humans! It's not a genie with all caps! Okay, what are these supposed to be? That's fusion Oh, that's on me. That's fair. That's fair. It's taking some inspirations from Jin and Nemi. But no, yeah, that... Sit on the cloud. Makes sense. That is fair. Don't you bring up Aztec mythology for this guy. I can't even come close to how cool an Aztec legendary would be. Alright, Enamorous was a thing. I forgot about that. You can hang out with the swan. I actually do think I like Simisage a little bit more than that. Alright, Thunderous. With his anal bead tail. Do remember that. It's spiked because he's kinky. Alright, how does your... Therian form work? Oh, you're trying so hard to be cool. Look at that little laugh. It's... No. What are you? You've got, like, bear claws, a unicorn's horn. Can have also a bear overbite. Don't know what the hell's going on with the tail. But kind of more of like a canine lower body. God, you're weird. Look at Pokemon Forces of Nature redesign. Pokemon Forces of Nature redesign. Images. That's not as bad. Still not as fond, though. I can't really even suggest a direction I'd rather have them go in instead, because I can't quite figure out what they're trying to do in the first place? This is the next round too? Not the next one, but maybe down the line. Just tell people, okay, pick your least favorite Pokemon and redesign it, or something like that. Or multiple, if they want to. I'm curious to see what people would come up with. Yeah, no, I think... I'm putting both of you down here. At least Landorus's looks somewhat reasonable, but even then... Oh yeah, they're out of order for some bizarre reason. Is there a reason that all of the tails just look absolutely bizarre? Is there an origin for this? There you come here. Not seen. Nope. Administrative mineral, this loosely inspired by a white tiger. Not especially that either. Stop trying to bring Aztec mythology into this. It's insulting. The Chinese stuff too. It's just kind of... It's so compository that... No. I think it looks better. Barely. But we got like this weird, like, 80-year-old Mother of the King sort of hairstyle at the top. He's currently just pooping out his tail. Can't think of a better way of putting that. Bizarre... Yeah, no. I don't hate it as much as that one. But no. There we go. What about this guy deserves the ability to intimidate? Probably the smell. I would imagine. Like, this look... I've worked with guys like this. This guy does not understand the concept of deodorant. Okay. Box art Pokemon. Over-designed as fuck. But not the worst things in the world. Okay. Let's delve down on what this thing is. You can clearly see. It's very happy to see us. It's got fingers on its wings. It can barely even reach the ground, so what's the point? It's got nice flowing hair and a tail. Hair is definitely going to get stuck in its jet engine. It's got frills off of its legs that are way too long. It's not over-design, it's called having to touch it. Nope, that's still over-design. Pick and choose. Oh, but guys, I got 20 separate mythological things into this. Can't you tell? And just holds up a giant oozing chimera flesh puppet. Look, 100% self-rule disease, not punished for it. Okay. So what are those things it's pulling from? How long is this list? 3 paragraphs, great. Based on the concept of yin and yang. It's 1. Directly referenced by its light. Bertram sounds meant to be the light, airy, graceful, and feminine to contrast Zekrum's tough and masculine design, which is why it's fully erect. There's the masculine characterization of Yang and Taoism, both versions of the 14 minutes piece with a distinctly male voice, and its tail, the center point of its design, is based on an electric turbine. Okay. I'll throw 3 in there for femininity. I mean, it's limestone format characterization of the Jewish conceptions of Urim and Thummim, sure. Pop cultural comedy depicted as a white and black stone, truth, with sound with the light. Appearance-wise, the room was a wyvern with characters of other animals such as birds, tyrannosaurs, and canines. A crystal on its head resembles smoke trails as well as white fire. Mythology of Oz, Zekrom and Rishram came about. We have this finding also bears some similarities to Romulus and Remus or Cain and Abel. There's also some resemblance to the Zoroastrian belief of 2 equally powerful deities, one representing light and truth and the other representing lies and darkness. In this case, Rishram can resemble Ahura Mazda due to its light and winged appearance and the fact it's side with truth, but also the fact it's a fire-type Pokemon. And Ahura Mazda was associated with fire. It may also draw from folklorist depictions of dragons, and that its appearance may be inspired by the White Dragon of England, and its association with fire may also be a reference to how dragons are associated with fire in Western folklore. So I like the yin and yang comparison, at least. I think going for a more canine dragon could have been cool. I think it's just... I'm sorry, it's just hideous. It looks to me like its bottom half isn't as... its top half hasn't fully grown as much as its bottom half. Like, there's a, time constriction right in its midsection, where its lower half is, 10 years older than its top half. It's just too much. You want to have the jet engine? Fine. Why is it also furry? Where's this thing's sprite? Okay, it's so much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I don't like this thing. I think if you took, maybe 3 of those ideas, you can make a badass dragon with that. But it's trying to combine all of them, which speaks to me of a very unfocused design direction. That's just weak. I can't separate it, but let's say that it is sandwiched between the male Jellicent and the female one. Alright, what about Zekrom? Okay. Going for a stone design, immediately a bit better, just because there's not as many moving parts. Its body's got a better balance, at least. Although it might just be the angle we're looking at. Fires with the renovated crystal electricity in its tail, appearing legends, giant generator of crystal electricity, can source the world with lightning, assist with those who want to build an ideal world. Nah. Neither of these dragons understand how wings work. God, oh. Why is your butt plug that big? Also, that's not the direction it's supposed to go in, but I understand, it's a bit large. We'll give credits. The effects on the lighting, that's pretty cool. That does look cool. Well, at least on the body. The butt plug is it's silly. It's too silly. Okay. What are you based off of? How many paragraphs? 3 again. Yeah, yin and yang. I mean, tough mask and costume. The more feminine. I wish. I wish this kept going down. Like these little weird circular things. So I could make the joke that Zekrum's got boobs and Reshiram's got a dick. I wish we were in that timeline, but unfortunately it's not quite there. Dark Stars, same stuff. Symbols, a theropod. Does it? Sure. Okay. Wasn't rash, Astronaut. Zekrum's not evil, rather equally powerful composing. Yeah. Okay. God, if you just got rid of the engine and moved all that mass into the wings and electrified the wings, this thing would look badass! But no, we gotta have this weird... I don't even know what to call it. Between both of these Pokemon. They look like engines? But they're so oversized. How my childhoods were breaking with this. I think it's better. I don't think it's better by much. Like, you're almost fine. If you didn't have the engine, I think it would jump immediately up two tiers, and it'd be easy to build from there. But I still think you got too much going. Honestly, I think the main reason I think the design is better is because I can barely see the details. Of course, the dark silhouette looks cool. You make me laugh. That was a funny bit, looking at you. Okay, up. I think I clicked the snipping tool. Whoops. And let's go... Kyurem. Ugh, I don't even want to touch the combo designs. At least Kirim is supposed to look incomplete. That's something. Oh gosh. What the... Why? Why do they have wires going out? It looks so bad they got rid of them in the 3D version. Why do all of them also look like they have that same problem of the further up their body they get progressively younger? That's so weird. But then is this complete? Is it? It looks like a dragon tried to put on, like, the father dragon's clothes, and they just do not fit him. There's some missing fourth piece. That's just a set of chest muscles and neck. It's a bike pump that goes into the top of its body. Which, knowing how over-designed these things are, there's probably a little outlet for that makes it actually work. Yeah, there's never been... What? How did... Kirim... I'm sure there's tons. Actually, no. This is great. I want to see how the people have redesigned these legendaries. Immediately, just making Zekrum's wings bigger and getting rid of the stupid goddamn engine. That looks so much better. I don't know if it's, I'd call it good, but it's an improvement. That's still over-designed. That's not bad. No, wait, no, that's the entire engine right there. No, that's ridiculous. Honestly, I was expecting more here. Alright, okay. Complete Kirim. Just out of curiosity, what nightmare have people created with this? See, well, at least this one understands that, hey, maybe the wings should be big enough to fly. Ugh! This is no disrespect to the artists of these. You are working with materials that are not ideal. You know what? Give me something like... I wish I got Amatsu vibes from Reshiram. Something like that would have been a bit better. Anyway. It's a dragon that certainly does exist. Thankfully, it's detached from an engine. So I think it does look the best of the three, at least in this form. If only because it does communicate that it's incomplete. And I do think that is kinda neat. I just think the way it completes itself is just hideous. Kirim. I definitely feel something from you that's a bit cooler, that surpasses the Three Musketeers. I'll put you right here. Beneath Garbodor. As it should be. There's a plug into their butts? I assume so? I think it goes without saying, but just... No. Too much. Too much. It's not as hideous as some of these other ones. But that's just an eyesore. No thank you. Okay, almost there. We had a plucky squire with Keldeo, who evolves to get 3 feathers out of his face, and for his horn to grow 3 sizes. The 4th member of the Three Musketeers. Man, I just feel kinda nothing looking at Keldeo. Unless I'm looking at the 3D model of his awakened form, because that just looks bad. I guess kid playing dress up is kind of the vibe of Keldeo's story. Better than the zebra, at least. That's at least somewhere to build from. About there. Feels weird putting him in frustration, because I don't really feel frustration towards him. He would have the voice of young Simba? Absolutely. Without question. But yeah, like... It's... serviceable. But for how important Keldeo's supposed to be for the lore, at least from my understanding, and the fact that this is all he gets, that's just lame. Not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, 2 more to go. Thankfully, these are a bit better. Something Gen 5 has been doing extraordinarily well is creating, like, kind of fey creatures mixed with nature. I think Meloetta and her connection to song are a bit on the nose. Like, her hair is very literally just sheet music. But I still think it's good. Oh, it's not a fairy type. That's weird. What is your... That's a song with a special vocalization method to control the feelings of those who hear it. Oh, it's Uda. Okay. Many famous songs inspired by melodies and melody of plays. Yeah, it's kind of an embodiment. I feel that. I feel that, Pierre. If it's supposed to embody something, it's fine for me to be a little closer. Because that kind of gets into the whole kind of idea that maybe it was simply the concept that she evolved out of. She's the creativity of music brought to life, or something like that. I don't feel quite good about Pokerus, but I think she's good. I think she's very good. And that's both versions. If anything, I wish there was a little bit more, like, lore-wise to her. Because she does kind of feel like just, oh, we wanted another, like, kind of sprite-ish legendary. Let's just toss something together real quick. I want a bit more. Never watched the movie with her in it. Maybe that would change my opinion of it. Or make it worse. Feeling it a little less. It's so... Yeah, okay, you know what's holding me up? It's so, like, generically pretty anime girl. That's losing me just a little bit. She wasn't in a movie, she was in an anime arc with Cynthia. Okay. I might have to think about that one. That's fine, that's fine. She's still good, she's still good. Even if a bit generic in terms of design. Oh, and last but not least, we end off with... Oh, that was easy. So thank you all for watching. No, man, I fucking love Genesect. This is some proper, like... man-made messing with nature and getting something back that they were not ready for. I think Genesect is so sick. Fossil Pokemon don't really do it for me. I've explained multiple times. But this sort of taking a fossil and trying to enhance it tickles that kind of Jurassic Park sort of you thought so much if you could, you didn't ask yourself if you should kind of vibes that I wish I was getting from them. And it's a relief to get something this cool and also sci-fi themed as well. It's like, what if we took a Cabatops and just attached a cannon to its back? I don't think it's ever been confirmed it's a Cabatops. Like, look at it. Come on. Yeah, this one's easy. I've always loved Genesect. It's such a cool Pokemon. Unfairly cool as a Pokemon. Also, it transforms like the one Bionicle things that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. You know what? That's probably it. It reminds me of Bionicles. And that just fills my heart with joy. But yeah. Welcome back. We'll be doing these every once in a while, assuming my computer doesn't die, as it seems desperate to do. Play the black and white cards? Sure, I'll do that. That's Pokemon. This is the credits theme? When I heard this in Smash, I thought it was like a legendary battle theme. Okay. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. We've started to further balance out the tiers. Like, if you look back at the other ones, it's very top-heavy in how pretty much all of these are balanced out. But with this glut of Pokemon that was Gen 5, just not every single one landed. And there's some real stinkers here. Like, I think the Timberline and the Gothette line, whatever the hell her name is, probably my least favorite Pokemon in the entire series. Like, when this generation is bad, it's bad. But it also has just this beautiful, just smorgasbord of Pokemon inspired by all sorts of different cultures and mythologies and history and cryptids and all sorts of cool things. I am starting to feel a little bit just this vibe of there's an idea here, but we're not going to take it as far as we could. Get a lot with this half. Like, this corner in particular. I love a lot of the concepts behind Garbodor, behind Zoroark, behind Zebstrika. But I still think they capitalize on them very well. How compare Gen 1 to 5? It's about the same size and they're performing the same function. Well, we brought up a lot throughout this stream that so many of these Pokemon feel like, okay, here's this region's version of what the Gen 1 version was. Like the bats, Excadrill to like Sandshrew, that sort of thing. I do think that sometimes Gen 5 does better than Gen 1. This might be very unpopular, but I think the ghosts of Gen 5 outperform like the Ghastly line. I think most of the grass types just knock it out of the park. Gen 1 has kind of a let's do the same idea again with like, okay, here's something on its back that grows into bloom. Here's Oddish, there's something on its back that goes into bloom. But Gen 5 goes for, like, this Fey creature vibe. And, like, for 1, 2, 3, 4 separate, like, Pokemon lines, does so exceptionally well. Gen 5 bugs are the best in Pokemon. That's hard to say, but that's only because most Pokemon generations do so many bugs so well. Oh, which is more effective at establishing a Pokemon. Oh, Gen 1. Gen 1. Too many of these designs are more of a slapstick, just like, here's something inspired by this region of the world. Here's something inspired by this region of the world. And I don't think it as effectively showcases what evolution is. Like, I think the starters are just worse overall. There doesn't feel as much of a thriving ecosystem here. Like, it tries to have fun relationships, like between Carablast and Shelmet. But I don't feel like the end goal works as well because the designs are too heavily just taking from human culture. That's Gen 1 or Gen 5, where the first Pokemon, which one you prefer, because assuming Gen 1 doesn't exist if Gen 5 is chosen. Oh, Gen 1. Absolutely, Gen 1. There's too much human in a lot of these designs. It doesn't hurt them too heavily, but it's the slipping design trend that we'll see as we get into, like, the Gen 6 starters that are completely designed around, like, fantasy roles of the knight, the mage, the ninja. Into Gen 7s, which are literally just circus occupations. Gen 8s, which are just European stuff. I say human like I'm the next track. Do we have Mandibus for specifically bullying and killing Cubone? No, I just think it's a decent vulture. I think it feels a bit unfair to have them mirrored for Braviary to Mandibuzz, because that's not a fair comparison. But I think it's still neat. This is basically Pokemon to me, so... Oh, that's fair. Nothing at all. Gen 3 was my first one. And I have the strongest feelings about that one. It happens. Gen 6 was what brought me back into Pokemon, because I actually was able to own a handheld console for the first time, so I might rank some Gen 6 designs a little higher than others might expect. It'll be interesting to see. No, yeah, up here, it's literally named Volgina in Japanese. That was a delightful discovery. But yeah, I'll probably keep poking this like I have the rest of them. As people respond in the comments and just I'm able to sit with my feelings in a lot of these. I've had a bunch of these. I think Floatzel, or whatever the hell your name is, dropped last time I poked around at this. But yeah, we are 5 generations in. We are more done than not, at least until Pokemon Company inevitably showcases Gen 10. But until next time, we'll continue this some other time. Farewell, everybody.